Welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Mike Bresnahan. The birthday girl, Allie Clifton, is here. She will be joining us later in the show. Mike Trudell down the hall. Lakers-Celtics primetime. Big game on ABC.
You know what time it is, Geeter?
I do. I do. It's always exciting, right?
You know what time it is, Brez?
Tell us, James.
It's time to get that Celtic ass.
And what a way to start the show. Happy birthday, Allie. Lakers and Celtics are set to meet for the first time this season. The two teams have split their last 6 games 3-3. And here's a look at how they stack up against each other this season. Both teams are currently third in their conferences. The Celtics are 10-7. The Lakers at 14-6. Very similar statistics. Lakers better defensively. No word on AD yet. He is a game-time decision. I still want to talk about him, guys. The Lakers need him in a big way. They're coming off a couple losses in a row, and history has shown us, James and Brez, that when AD does maybe take a game off, get a little extra rest, he's usually ready to go. So we hope that knee and leg are okay.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. You know, I know sometimes, and Brez, you're more familiar with this than I am. Coaches like to hold on to that last minute before they let you know if a player's playing or not.
Play some tricks.
Otherwise, you know, I'll be like, why are they not saying it? Because he's had a day off. They should know. But, you know, tricks of the trade, Brez. I hope he's ready to go. They need a win as a team, and they need him to provide everything that he does.
Yeah, no doubt. Some pretty good front court players there for Boston, including, but certainly not limited to Jason Tatum. So if those guys end up going head-to-head, that could be pretty fun to watch. But obviously you want your second-best player on that court right next to LeBron James.
And listen, the motivation hasn't been easy this year for teams, especially a team like the Lakers who didn't have an offseason. I mean, we've said many times we're excited with where they are, but some of these nights it's hard to get up. But when it's the Celtics, it's a primetime national game, you're coming off 2 losses, we're not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah, coming off 2 losses and, you know, having a little time to rest and regroup. You know, it's tough. You know, they hit a funk at the wrong time. You know, it happens. You know, I couldn't imagine being a lawyer, like going in the courtroom trying to, you know, fight off a migraine or a stomachache or something like that. Sometimes that's what these guys are up against in the middle of a road trip. No excuses. Still got to get it done, but they should be rebooted now after 2 losses. AD's rested. I want to see some energy.
Yeah, this team really does not like to lose 2 in a row, which they just did. They certainly do not want to lose 3 in a row. It's okay to lose to Philly. You know, I'm okay with that loss.
Yeah.
You know, the Lakers were up by a point. Last-second shot by Tobias Harris. You can deal with that. But I think they're probably a little stung by what happened in Detroit a couple nights ago, losing by 15 to a team that really is not that good. So you know that's been in the back of their minds the last 48 hours. I think they're going to come out strong and definitely try not to lose that 3rd game in a row.
Yeah, every team plays their best when the champions come to town.
True.
It's weird. It's
Even
weird.
Detroit,
I don't know
who's got
what
5
it is.
wins.
They play their
5-14.
best, so they have to be ready for that.
Yep.
Lakers and Celtics will renew their historic rivalry tonight in Boston. For the latest on tonight's matchup, we check in with Laker reporter Mike Trudell. Hey, Mike, you got some new news for us regarding Anthony Davis?
Yeah, guys, he is in to start the game, so
know.
that's certainly good news for the Lakers after the 1 game with the thigh bruise. He went out there and looked pretty good in warm-ups, and, yep, he's starting the game. So when the sound here, you're going to hear me ask about AD, and Frank Vogel at this point didn't yet know that. So just now we have the information. That is good. He is starting. Then we move on to talk about Tatum and Brown and some other things about this matchup. So here's the head coach a couple moments ago.
Well, those two are certainly highly dynamic. And, you know, obviously the versatility of you know, having switchable defenders, you know, it helps any defense, you know. But what those guys do on the offensive side of the ball, or what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball with Brown actually being the leading scorer for them right now. We know what Tatum can do. You know, it's a thunder and lightning type of thing. And, you know, they got a lot of other firepower too. So this is this team's a legitimate contender to win the East. And, you know, they haven't really been at full strength yet this year. So I think only 1 game where they've had everybody at full strength. So you know, this will be you know, another test for them, or our first look at them.
And Frank, any patterns you've noticed from the last 2 games in contrast to the previous games when you had been winning? Is there anything that stood out about the reasons why those turned to losses instead of wins?
Yeah, I mean, guy hit a game-winning shot on one of them, and we ran out of gas in another. We just I thought we played with good energy throughout the Detroit game. I thought in watching the tape, Detroit played a really good basketball game. They made a lot of guarded shots, and it just it falls in the bucket in my mind of you're going to get teams' best shot, and it's not always just effort, but you can have guys like Blake Griffin that have a throwback type of night. You know what I mean? And a lot of those situations were good defense. You tip your cap to them, but we faltered a little bit offensively, couldn't make a shot down the stretch, and you're going to have nights like that.
All right, there you go. So once again, Anthony Davis, that is the big news, Chris. He is available and will start for the Lakers here.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. We're heading to break. Plenty more ahead here on Access Sportsnet Lakers. We'll look back at Kyle Kuzma's strong performance last time out. Plus, don't forget to vote for your Laker All-Star. Kuz in the starting lineup was there. He played 30 minutes. He had 22 points, 9 of 17, and he hit 3 of 7 from 3 at 1 block, and he had a double-double, 10 rebounds. We're going to hear from Kuz later in the show, talking to Allie. Time for a little Access 360, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Good times.
So Kuz got the start. Did you like what you saw from him offensively, Big Game James, and all the boys?
Yeah, I've loved what I've been seeing out of him all year long. He's starting to understand what it takes to be a professional basketball player in the NBA. It's not all about scoring. He does a lot of good things, including rebounding, playing defense, how to move without the basketball. He's not quite like Reggie Miller was.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller was great at setting picks, moving without the ball, but man, catches, shoots right away, and then the other things that he's added to the game as far as being a double-double guy, defending, all the things now he's starting to understand what it takes to be a real professional NBA basketball player.
Yeah, great breakdown right there, James. And Brez, you're going to take us inside Access. Obviously, we talked a lot about this. There's a difference between the Kuz that starts offensively and the Kuz that comes off the bench. He's going to have to figure out a way to impact this game with a little more scoring off the bench, isn't he?
Yeah, I wish you could go to Vegas and make a bet on an over-under for Kuz points whenever he starts a game, because it's going to go over. I mean, just such a marked difference. You see it right there. Across the board. I mean, he's more active rebounding, more active scoring, better shooting behind the arc, and overall, it's just a different guy when he gets that starting call, which, lucky for him, he gets plenty of starts. AD obviously did not play the other night. What do? You plug in this guy right here and watch him go to work. I mean, great footwork there, too, James. Yeah. I know you appreciated that bucket in general. And he's just so much more active when he is the starter. It sounds like I'm politicking for him to join the starting five. That is not the case. He's still a valuable piece coming off the bench, but different Kuz when he gets that starting nod.
It's also just a mindset that he has. You can just tell he's coming out hunting a little bit more than when he's coming off the bench. And obviously the field goal attempts are going to be way up when a guy like AD or LeBron don't play. Allie, the Celtics have some young stars as well. Guys that came into the league right around when Kuz did. You got Jaylen Brown, you got Jason Tatum. Both having outstanding years. I mean, Tatum's already established as one of the young stars in this league. But Jaylen Brown averaging 27. That's crazy. Best in the league, Allie.
I mean, you see it right there. It's the J&J show. I think what's so unique about this is they're so young. Jaylen Brown is 24 years old. Jason Tatum 2 years younger at 22. Of course, their opportunities have grown with the loss of Kyrie Irving, the loss of Gordon Hayward, guys, but they've met those expectations. And I'm not surprised either, because just 3 years ago coming up, they had the Cavs and LeBron James on the brink of a finals berth. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7, led by the two of them. Geet, you just mentioned, you know what you're going to get with Jason Tatum. He's done it for these last several years consistently. But when it comes to Jaylen Brown, to put that number, 27 a game in perspective, 8th in the NBA, his percentages have gone up from the field, from beyond the arc. He does it in a variety of ways, but it's 7 points more than a season ago.
Allie, you bring up a great point about that Cavs series where they were on the brink of going to the finals. Over the last few years, they continue to put themselves in position to get there. They haven't gotten to the mountaintop yet, Big Game James, but these are young guys that have been playoff tested early in their careers.
Yeah, and what happens when you experience the playoffs, you're good enough to progress, and you just come up a little short sometime, it just makes you hungrier and you get more excited about it. You're right there in the mix. Forget about, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, all of that. Boston's well coached. Tristan Thompson, they added another big, who can come in there and mix things up, who has playoff experience, championship experience. So that makes them a dangerous club.
And you nailed it, James. The hunger that is within those two especially.
Yeah.
I was part of that series. Games 1 and 2, they blew out the Cavs. 20-point wins led by both of those guys. And again, until late in the third, going
LeBron
to the fourth.
willed that Cavs team.
It was because of LeBron.
Yeah.
But they won it.
So they know they can do it, and they just come up a little short. So, yeah, they're a dangerous team.
Brez, I always feel like every year around this time, 20, 25 games in, we start to look at the most improved. Last year, it's Brandon Ingram. You know the names. It's always around that third, fourth year. Where's Jaylen Brown on your list?
Yeah, it's always a time for lists, too. Once you hit that quarter pole in the season, right?
Always got to be top 5 list, right?
Yeah, you can't have like a top 6 or a top 4. That makes no sense. Jaylen's my number 1. I mean, I'll start with Jeremy Grant. First time kind of running the show after being a 4th or maybe 5th option in Denver. He's doing a good job, 24 points a game, nearly double what he ever did in Denver. Then you go Zach LaVine. If there is an all-star game, and that's an if, he's on it for the first time ever. I mean, he has really jumped up his game a lot. Also handing out about 5 assists a game. Not too bad. He's not hired because the Bulls are sitting in 10th. Colin Sexton, 3rd year in the NBA. Nice jump for him. 24 points a game. 44% from three-point range. To me, the Cavs are the second biggest surprise in the NBA. Who's the biggest? The man right next to him, Julius Randle. The Knicks are relevant again. Julius averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists a game. And then we get to Jaylen. You start talking about how he's improved over the years, Keith. 2 years ago, he averaged 13 points a game. Last season, 20 points a game. Now he's up to 27 points a game. So if there's an all-star game, he would also make it for the first time. And what else does that progression tell you? In 3 years, he'll average 48 points a game. If he keeps going up,
if he keeps going in that,
just 7 a year, he'll be there soon, no doubt.
You know what I love about your list? You're rewarding guys for impacting their teams in winning ways.
Exactly.
All 5 of those guys could win that award.
Yeah.
But it depends on how well your team does as well.
Yeah, but Boston's the best team of those. So I want to give Jaylen the number 1 spot right now.
27 a game.
That's crazy.
It's
a nice jump for him. And you helped me with that list. I appreciate that.
That's a great list, man. Good job. Listen, Big Game James.
We got another one?
No, we got this.
We got another one?
Do you remember this?
So fun.
You know what?
I don't know what is about your face in that one. That's one of my favorites.
Of all the animation or memes that you guys have done, this is my favorite right here.
You love that one, right?
I love this. Look how I walk away.
Oh,
Look at that face. I'm just happy as hell to be beating that Celtics.
Delight.
I love when you start swinging. I mean, you're going to the body. You're not playing around no more.
Body blow. Body blow.
By the way, is that really a Mickey Mouse pin?
I was going to say, poor Mickey.
Is that what's happening right there? This is.
Yeah,
I got to get the real video.
Kind of messed up. You put Mickey on there.
Straight ahead, we'll look back at the top plays of the week.